Welcome back everybody to Hayes Tech. My name is Dave Hayes and this is a channel where we talk about pretty much anything tech. Today what we're going to go over is a couple Akaso cameras. And those of you that watch my channel know how I feel about Akaso products. I think that if you're going to buy a cheap camera, and what I mean by cheap action camera, I mean an action camera that runs between say $75 and $150, in that range. I have nothing but good to say about Akaso products. So when we come back, we're going to put the Akaso V50 Pro and the Akaso Brave 7LE head to head, and we're going to see which of those two cameras are the better choice. So don't go away. And as always, if you liked my video, don't forget to hit that like button and share my videos. It really helps me out. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you saw, think about subscribing. And if you subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell icon. That way you get a notification of my videos as soon as I release them. Alright, well, the first thing I want to get out of the way quickly is remember, when I hit 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away this camera that you're looking at me on right now, and that is that you're looking at me on my Canon T6i, which is right here. Now, the lens that you're viewing me through is not going to go with it, but I will be giving away the 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens, and it's the better one. It stops all the way down to 3.5, and it has a bigger objective. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Again, 5,000 subs, I'm giving this camera away. Canon T6i. I wanted to talk about Akaso cameras today because I did manage to get two different cameras from Akaso. All of you know my first camera was the Akaso V50 Pro, which is here, and then of course I just picked up the Akaso Brave 7LE here. And while these cameras are admittedly pretty close to each other in features and function, they are very different from each other in how they're made. The Brave 7LE actually comes with a rubber coating around it, which helps it to be water resistant, is what I should say. It's not waterproof. You need to be very careful using it around water. Now, if it's raining out or something like that, it's fine to use this camera in an environment like that. You're not going to hurt it. It is that water resistant. So if you're going to be out and it's raining, or you're going to be out on a motorcycle or hiking, and you're going to be in wet environments where the leaves are wet, the grass is wet, you might be wet, there might be water splashing on you, then the Akaso Brave 7LE, I say, is the camera to get, hands down. But if you're going to be just using the camera for, your everyday stuff that you're going to be using it for, then, the Akaso V50 Pro is still the camera I recommend to everybody. Now, here's the funny thing. They are exactly the same price. And with them being the same price, I thought, okay, so what is the difference between the two? Is it just that water-resistant coating that's on the outside? And I have to say, no. A big no. First off, the Akaso V50 Pro actually is able to allow you to attach a microphone, and I'll show that to you right here. And it is Akaso branded. I don't know if you can see that or not. It says Akaso right on it. And it is like a USB type microphone attachment. So it's not even your standard cheap camera microphone attachment, which has that one ring around it, which I hate, by the way. But at least the Akaso V50 Pro gives you the option to put an external microphone on. And that is where, in my opinion, the Brave 7LE falls way short. Because the audio on the Brave 7LE sucks to beat hell. And I mean, it's terrible. I actually consider it to be completely unusable no matter what you do. It is just that bad. But in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both of these cameras, I'm going to put them on this little setup right here, Of course, I will be plugging in my microphone to my V50 Pro, and will be at least letting you hear what the V50 Pro sounds like with this microphone attached. Now, they do not sell this microphone on the V50 Pro. You have to go back to Amazon and you have to order this separately from Amazon for like 10 bucks. But I'm going to tell you, it's worth it. I definitely recommend getting it. Now, does it really change the sound that much? Make it that much better? No. In my opinion, it doesn't make the audio, like night and day difference. But what it does do is it cuts down on a lot of wind noise. And I don't know if it's just the fact that you can put a little, it comes with like this little styrofoam or this little foam windsock on it. That might be the reason why, but it does make a difference in the audio, especially if it's really windy out. And in my opinion, that is the only downfall of the Akaso Brave 7 LE, and that is the fact that you cannot attach a microphone to this camera, which I think sucks. But before we get into showing you guys the differences between these two cameras in the way they take video, I just wanted to talk about some of the major differences in the cameras. Now, first off, obviously, is water-resistant coating on the outside of this camera. That's awesome. Again, if it's raining hard, don't worry about it. This camera will be fine. Also, the big thing about this camera, which makes it stand out among all the other action cameras or cheap action cameras on the market, is if I press and hold this button right here on the front, press and hold it, notice I've got a front screen now. So if you are vlogging or whatever, you can actually frame yourself in this, and you know whether or not you have yourself framed up. On the other Akaso and on all the other action cameras, you don't know whether or not you're even framed up, and you could be like way off or or whatever. This camera gives you that ability to frame yourself up and get really nice shots, and that in itself makes this camera well worth it if you need something cheap to vlog with. Now, the one thing I do want to mention though is, remember, if you're going to vlog with this, you are going to have an external microphone. Do not use the audio coming out of this camera to to use on your videos, because you're just going to get nobody watching your videos. Remember what I told you a long time ago, that when you are making videos for like YouTube or whatever, the key thing is audio, because a lot of people don't even watch your videos, they're listening to it. And I'm telling you guys, you'll see the audio on this thing is terrible. And I tested it yesterday with absolutely zero wind, and it was garbage. I mean, complete garbage. And I also tested it with both the wind reduction on and wind reduction off, and it was completely the same. It just sounds terrible. Now, again, when we talk about the Akaso V50 Pro, it actually has a port in the side you can plug that external microphone into, but it is not water resistant in any way, shape, or form. So if it starts to rain and you have this camera out, you need to get this camera put up quickly, because if any water ingresses into any of these speaker or mic ports in it, it's gonna, your camera's ruined, and you lost between $100 and $130 depending on where you get this at. So what do you say we go ahead and throw this camera and this camera up on this rig right here and take it outside and see what the video quality looks like. Now, I just want to mention that on the video I did on this camera, people were asking me, did I use the audio from that camera? And the answer to that was, no, obviously. Whenever I do video outside, I always resort to a Sony lapel mic like that, and of course my Zoom H1N, because that's all I can afford. But this will give you excellent audio. The audio coming out of this with this microphone right here is as good as the audio you are hearing right now from my XLR PreSonus box and my MXL 770 microphone that I have right here. So, I mean, it's just phenomenal. It's that good. So again, guys, this is going to save your ass if you're making videos for YouTube, or even if you're making videos for yourself. Get yourself one of these. Again, because you're not going to be able to have a microphone like this all the time, and this thing is going to save your ass. Trust me. So, what do you say we go ahead and jump outside and take a look at these cameras head to head? And I'll put them through a couple different paces. I do want to have them side by side. I'll do a split screen, then I'll do a full screen on one, and then switch to the other camera. Of course, I will label in the top so you know which camera's which. And I'm going to let you guys judge for yourself the video quality on these cameras. The one thing I do want to mention is on all the videos I do on these cameras, I'm going to do them in its widest field of view. And I'm going to have image stabilization on, and I'm going to be shooting in 4K 30 frames per second. So with that being said, let's go ahead and run outside and see what these cameras look like. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and test these two cameras. I have both cameras on a mount, as you guys can see, like this. So, you know, I'll be able to have them directly recording me at the same time. Now remember, the Akaso Brave 7LE has that front-facing screen, so I can really set it up pretty good. But the Akaso V50 Pro does not. But the Akaso V50 Pro has an external microphone. Now, how good is that microphone? We're going to find out. So we're going to go ahead and test the audio coming from the Akaso V50 Pro now. Audio test 1, 2, 3. Audio test 1, 2, 3. And of course, this is the audio coming out of the Akaso Brave 7LE. So this is what you can expect for the audio on it. Audio test 1, 2, 3. Audio test 1, 2, 3. So what I figured I'd do is I'd go ahead and go for a walk. I don't want to use these like vlogging. I want to use them as if they are action cameras. So I'm going to point them away from me, and we're just going to see how well they do for everything. So let's go for a walk. We are now going for a walk. Okay, I do have the image stabilization turned on, so they should be working pretty good. And I am shooting in their widest format. So each one of these cameras have a super wide, wide, medium, and narrow field of view. And I figured the last time I did a video on these cameras, I showed them more like a vlogging camera, and now I'm going to show them more as if they were an action camera. So if you had them mounted on your bike or whatever, I'm walking. This is what you can expect as far as image stabilization from walking. And you guys want to remember, with my handicap, I do a major amount of wobbling. So the image stabilization on both of these cameras really getting one hell of a workout. So we'll see how it goes. Now I'm going to try to do a jog. Now my jog's not going to be very good, but I'm going to try it. So here we go. Going to do a turn. Remember, I'm jogging, so we'll see how well the image stabilization works. All right. Now hopefully you guys can see the difference in picture quality between the two. I have them both set to standard picture profile, and I have them both set to their widest field of view. This should give you an idea of the video quality between both of these cameras. Okay, so now I figured I'd turn it around and let you guys see what it looked like if I was using these cameras as a vlogging rig. And I just want you to remember that I'm basically just holding the cameras at arm's length. I do have a bar here that both of the cameras get mounted to, so you know they're both looking at me. I'll try to cut back and forth in between both of the views, but here you go. My thoughts are, I actually like both cameras. I do, in my opinion, give the Akaso V50 Pro a little bit of edge on video quality. Now, I haven't looked at either of these, so I really don't know, but from what I could tell from the videos I've seen on my YouTube channel that I've uploaded, and from some of the videos I've already edited, it's just my opinion. I think that the Akaso V50 Pro, again, in my opinion, just looks a little better. Now, there are some of you out there that'll argue that the Akaso Brave 7 LE actually has a better picture quality, and you know, I could see where you guys are coming from with that argument. For me, I think they're both a toss-up, but what really gives the Akaso Brave 7 LE the edge over the V50 Pro is the waterproofness. Now, it's not waterproof, but it is water resistant and very highly water resistant. So if it was to start pouring down rain right now, I could keep right on shooting with this camera. I couldn't with this one. I would have to shut down and put it in its you know, waterproof case. So just remember that. Now, with that waterproof case that's on this one, it kind of screws up the audio on it. So I think the one thing that Akaso could have done was add an external microphone like it did with the V50 Pro, but they didn't. So, all right, this is just to let you guys see what it looks like if we were either vlogging outside or using it as an action camera. So let's get back to the video. All right, well guys, I hope you got a little bit of something out of that video. Like I said, from what I could tell from editing these videos, the cameras are very close to each other. I noticed the Akaso Brave 7 LE seems to crop in a little bit more, and the Akaso V50 Pro has more of a wider view. I don't know why that is. Now, I don't know if the sensors are different on them or what, but if I had to pick between the two in just video quality alone, you know, I have to go with the Akaso V50 Pro over the Akaso Brave 7 LE. I just like the image quality better on my V50 Pro. But with that said, the Brave 7 LE has some damn good image quality on it. And then when you factor in that front-facing screen that's built on the front of the camera, I mean, this here is hands down the best $130 vlogging camera that there is, bar none. You cannot buy a camera for this price that has a front-facing screen that's going to give you 4K 30 frames per second with a, you know, wide, with 4 different views, you know, extra wide, wide, medium, and narrow. You're just not going to get it. Again, you need external audio on it. You got to do that. But this is one hell of a camera. And like I said, guys, I can highly recommend either of these cameras. From doing the editing that I did, I thought the image quality on both of them was pretty damn good. But I do give the slight edge to the V50 Pro again. But again, the V50 Pro does not have this front-facing screen. The last thing I wanted to bring up is the one thing you want to remember is when you power this off and power back on, it is always going to revert to that rear-facing screen. So if you power the camera off for whatever reason to save batteries or whatever, and then you quickly need to do something to vlog, you power it back up, you're going to have to go ahead and hit this button right here that says M on it. Press and hold it for 4 to 5 seconds, and it will switch that view to the front-facing camera again, and away you go. So with that being said, I hope you guys got something out of this, and I hope I gave you all a good representation of the image quality on both of these cameras. Again, like I said earlier, I can recommend them both highly, but I do give a slight edge to the Akaso Brave 7LE if you're going to be using it for vlogging, and I give a little bit of edge to the Akaso V50 Pro for just overall image quality. I just think it's better. As far as image stabilization goes, I think they're about the same on both of them. I didn't notice much of a difference, so you're not really gonna gain one way or the other on that. And as far as, you know, settings and features and stuff like that go, they're pretty much the same. Just remember, on the Akaso Brave 7LE, if you're using that front-facing screen, you cannot do anything to change settings. Make sure you have everything set right from the get-go, and then go ahead and hit record, because if you need to change any of the settings at all in the camera, you're going to have to revert back to the rear screen in order to get touch control back and make any settings adjustments. So with that being said, I think either of these two cameras would do you well, depending on the circumstance that you're going to use them in. I just want to thank each and every one of you for watching the video. If you got something out of it, or if you liked the video, you know, give it a thumbs up, and think about sharing my video with your friends. Also, don't forget, I'm going to have a giveaway when I hit that 5,000 subscribers for this camera right here, which is my Canon T6i. So that I'm going to get out of here now, I promise. So thank you all for watching, and with that said, I'm going to close this video down. I will see you guys on the next one.